We came into Quarriers in 1969, and at the entrance there was a beautiful flower arrangement which said "Suffer the little children." And as we drove through the gates, there was children running around, and it gave the appearance of a happy place, of a place where children would want to be. But the tall tower of the church that I saw for the very first time, the tower ended up pointing the way to hell for me, because that's where my abuser took me to abuse me on many occasions. The church itself is a very poignant reminder to me of what happened to me, and the echoes of the past will always remain with me. What happened was that the cottage parents basically had the power of life and death, if that's how I can describe it as an adult. If you did report it, generally speaking, the system within Quarriers took the side of the cottage parents. The child was not heard. I think for an outsider looking in, that's what Quarriers was. It was very peaceful, and it looked a happy place to be. But the horrors that went on in Cottage 7 were unimaginable for a child. The person who was supposed to protect you was actually sexually abusing me and physically abusing me. My abuser was convicted and got 8 years. It's hard for me to go back there and visit it, even though I've written about it now. I think of the day I came home, my sister was gone. You know, abusers play a very clever game, and it was that you were being treated differently. You were being treated, oh well, you were old enough to have a bath on your own. But it became a precursor for my abuser to start to abuse me. And when I did go for a bath, he would come to the door and demand to be let in. In the beginning, I tried to cover myself with my dressing gown, and I tried to get out of the bath. I did everything to prevent it, but I couldn't prevent it. I'm not a bitter person. I never look back on life. I created a life for myself, a successful life. I think my abuser was very devious, was very manipulative, including after when he was convicted, and that's hard for me to accept. I appreciate he's another human being, but I cannot accept that the crime he committed. It's very strange for me to come back, and it's very emotional for me to come back. And what I notice about the place is there's not a lot of children running around it today. Yes, the vision was corrupted, and it's a shame it was corrupted, because even in my time there was many good people who came here to work with children and give children the best possible start. A lot of these children came from very disadvantaged backgrounds and needed actually extra support when they came into Quarriers, and many house parents did give that support, and they've gone on to have full lives. But for some children, they haven't been able to have a life at all because of the horrors they met in the village, in care in the village. But that was that vision of William Quarriers was actually corrupted by a few cottage parents. The catalyst for me coming forward was the abuser's wife called me at my home some 30 years later, asking me to be a character witness, and I couldn't be a character witness because I knew that he had actually abused me. You're right, the silence has to be broken, and for too long, too many of us who this has happened to have remained silent, and society doesn't understand why we've remained silent. And we have to protect the kids of tomorrow who are in care to ensure that this doesn't happen again. And we also have to help those that have suffered, enable them to come forward and be listened to. I wanted to defend the truth. I wanted to speak out and say, sorry, but this is the truth. My inner strength and my help from my psychologist allowed me to come to terms with everything that had happened. But I think I've always had an inner strength to get over my earlier life was difficult, Quarrier's was difficult, so Quarriers will never leave me, even though I've written my book and I've told my story. I'm in a happier place now, having dealt with it, but I don't think I'll ever be able to erase the memory of what happened here. Well, I believe that those who are stronger, people like myself, we have a need to help people who are more vulnerable than us, and we need to ensure that they get the help and support that wasn't there when I came forward. And as a group of people, we will all be stronger if we do not remain silent anymore. My hope would be that no more silence would allow people to come forward, to speak openly about the issue. It's a unique story, but many survivors have unique stories to tell.